I look too good.
Hello, everyone. Told y'all we was coming back so we can get through this series. And I was mad at first that Disney split 6 episodes up into 2 weeks, but the way that these people have been showing out about this show, no, I'm not, because I can't take 6 weeks of this. I couldn't take 6 weeks of defending a series based off not the content of the show, but the character color of the show. So it's been a lot because this is actually a good show. If people actually take the time to sit down and watch it, I don't know, maybe read some comics, enjoy it. I don't know, try it out a little bit without thinking about wokeness or DEI. But here we are going to get to these last 3 episodes, 4 through 6 of the show. This will be a spoiler review. So if you have not seen it, letting you know ahead of time, spoiler alert. But I am not here by myself, everyone. So before I bring up my guest today, make sure you hit like on the channel and subscribe if you have not for more content like this, all things horror, all things nerdy. Let's see. First guest, CT. We've been catching hell in them comments.
Bruh. I'm all kinds of Disney paid agent. I don't know what the hell. Like at this point, I'm a millionaire working for Disney on the low. That's what I gather from the comments. But I am on a boat.
So if we lose CT, just let y'all know he came logged in from the boat because of how y'all been acting in these comments. Like we got to go ahead and finish out through the series. But yes, if Disney, if you are listening, if y'all want to go ahead and cut us the check, that's cool since they already think y'all doing that anyway. Just let's go ahead and do it. Last but next to last, we got C coming up. We just talked about Squid Game. What was that, Sunday? And C is also a Marvel head. C, how did you feel about the series overall in these last 3?
I was entertained. I was enthralled. I thought this was a very good ending. Actually, we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, a lot of twists and turns, a lot of surprises, a lot of reveals. So I was here for it.
I was too. And of course, last but not least, this time she was here with us. What did we talk about together? We had a good long talk about Sinners. And Quana is also away from the house in here so that we could talk about Ironheart from her reviews. Quana, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk about Miss Riri Williams, and all the little surprises and Easter eggs and whatnot that we got coming.
Absolutely. Y'all know we're going to jump right in, of course. Again, this is a spoiler review. Spoiler alert. So if y'all hadn't seen it yet, just letting you know. But if you have not seen it, I would love for you all to go ahead and jump in and watch it. And hey, Candy Loves in the chat. Hey, girl. Hey. Make sure y'all go hit sub to her channel as well. Before I head into it, did y'all like the wrap up of the season?
I can't hear y'all.
Oh,
there it goes.
Well, CT, we'll start with you. How did you like the wrap up? Did they stick it at the end?
Oh, it was hard, man. I really wasn't expecting it to end as well as it did because the build-up was so good. Like Marvel's very good at giving you a great intro and then just letting you down. Because what was the show? Secret Invasion started out great. I was into it, and then the last 2 episodes, I was like, "What the hell?" It felt like what they call jumping the shark. It felt like that. But this was solid all the way through, man. It's like, Ryan Coogler's name is attached to this. Like, he doesn't put out trash. The end, And I just don't understand. I do understand why his pedigree, his history of putting out hit after hit, just great content, is irrelevant to these people who are just naysaying this show without even watching it, But yeah, it was a great Great wrap up. Love the ending. It's a lot of unanswered questions, you know what I'm saying? It's leading us to something. I'm hoping it's a season 2, but maybe it's some movies or whatnot. But yeah, great ending.
Yeah, I feel like her story is going to be wrapped up in somewhere between a Wakanda and a young Avengers movie or something. C, did you feel like they stuck the landing? How did you feel like they wrapped up these last 4 episodes?
I feel like they stuck the landing for sure. Yeah, like CT was saying, Disney Plus isn't really known for their great endings of their shows. There's been a couple. There's been Loki season 2. There's been what's another one? Agatha. That was pretty good. The ending, and maybe like one other. But this ending was fantastic. It was unexpected. I liked the way it was shot. We had a lot of reveals, so I couldn't have asked for more in a final episode, actually.
Okay, and Quana, how do you feel? Do you think they stuck the landing? Did you like the wrap up?
I did. I liked the way that it ended. I thought that it left the door open for a lot of possibility with the character. At the same time, if Disney, don't act right, I felt like we, in a sense, got a little bit of a tease. I like endings that tease you with the possibility of it could go good or it could go bad. You really don't know. And so I like a good open-ended cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we get to it, because we're going to talk about it, I feel like there was a little bit of a clue there that showed us what how it went down. And we're gonna get to it because I saw something there. I had to like fast forward a few times. It took me forever watching 3 episodes because I kept pausing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen a little peek of some things watching it that I had to hit the pause button on. But we're going to jump right in here, y'all. If you are in the chat right now, if you are watching, make sure that you hit like on everybody's channel and say, hey, hop in the comments to say, hey, what's going on? And how did y'all like the wrap up of these 3 episodes? We're going to start with my boy Parker here. Y'all, he was too fine in this series. I ain't never thought Anthony Ramos was fine until I watched this. I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there. I don't know if it was the tattoos or the villain thing. I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know what it was. Something did it for me in this. I can't exactly tell you what it was. But he was pissed because which I didn't realize on the last episode 3 that he did see a flash of what happened with his cousin. That he did see that Riri pretty much left his ass there to suffocate. I didn't think he knew that, but he did know, and he was pissed about it. And you could tell he was like he was not very good at hiding his anger, like whatsoever. He was pissed. And so
meals that are good for you. Factor
he came out the gate with an attitude. And she was scared a little bit. Riri was shaking in her boots. And because of this, he decided to put a hit out on her. And he said he was just like, I know what she did. I know what you did last summer. And so like like it's up, and he wanted it back in blood after this. And like he was already not on the right path, but it kind of pushed him over to like, I'm already teetering on the dark side as is. And we'll learn more about why he was already teetering on the dark side. But this kind of like completely pushed him over the top because, I mean, his cousin was like everything to him. And then we find out especially why John was so important when that's all the family that he had, really. And we're going to talk about his raggedy ass daddy later. But apparently that John was pretty much all the blood. We talk about the deadbeat ass dad later. But John was really all he had at the moment. C, how did you feel about Parker jumping all the way to the dark side?
So I can't wait till we talk about the daddy, because is he a deadbeat? Is he? We're gonna talk about it. But Parker, I lose less and less sympathy for Parker the more the episodes like went by. Like the more I started to learn about his powers and the powers that he's been granted and his decisions with that, I no longer felt any kind of sympathy for him. I didn't really feel like he was a villain that I could identify with, unlike, our Killmongers unlike even Thanos to a certain extent. 'Cause, you know, Thanos was right. We do got too many mofos around here.
Some people need to be snapped.
Some people need to go, right? But he was just motivated by power. He said as much. So it's like, you doing all of this just to be the king of the world. I liked him less and less as the episodes went by. And it's not a dig on the actor, great performance. It's just the character. I was like, yeah, somebody need to take him out.
Like I didn't particularly feel sorry for him. I mean, I did for a little bit when we just seen with his dad, but I wasn't rooting for him as a villain like I do sometimes. I wasn't rooting for his villainy. Quana, what about you? How do you feel about his descent into the darkness?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way when we get into this stuff with his dad, and when we get to the deal that was made. I just couldn't really understand why I couldn't understand why his request wasn't for family. And of course, we saw that play out. And I think the dismissiveness of his found family, I was like, oh, you trash. Yeah. Like, you really just threw away the people who was riding for you, you know, and didn't own up to it. So yeah, you're trash. Like, you're not doing this. I kept hoping for the Robin Hood of it all. To be the real thing, like to be like, I'm doing this for some better reason than just myself, and that was just corrupted. But it was like, oh, from jump, you didn't take this to a good place. You immediately took it to bad. So yeah, I lost with sympathy because I was anticipating his motivation to be better than what it was.
And yeah, it wasn't. And maybe there's a lot more there that we haven't explored because we haven't seen the last of Parker. But yeah, he hit that dark hole like real fast. Just like once we got a hold of it, it's just like we just all the way crossed over. And speaking of somebody else wanting to step into their villain era, Joe is like, I guess I ain't gonna be Joe no more. Let me step all the way into Zeke Stain, okay? Mm-hmm. And going back and forth with battling whether he wants to be like his dad or not, because in one way he does want the power. He wants to be this tech genius. He wants to have, you know, all these different inventions and technological advances, but it's like, but I'm not my dad. But going back and forth with all of that. But he did have a right to be mad with Riri because she the one dropped the little piece, the little arm piece, and got him arrested for it. And I don't even know. And then it was a brown piece, and they still took him down. I'd have been a little upset too at that, you know. And but he didn't really want to go all the way in with Parker's crew. I mean, I'd have been mad too if you got me locked up because I told you don't let this blow back on me. But I think he's still feeling there because his dad had the villain name over his head, and I don't think Zeke really wants to be that. I don't think he knows what his place is right now. I don't know. See,
let me tell you a little something about Zeke here, because I knew this man was going to be a problem since the first episode. I said he's too sums up, right? And unlike Parker, who I couldn't really understand his motivation, even though I do like a villain sometimes that's just evil. Like sometimes, you know, I don't need to be sympathetic with a villain all the time. I'm okay with a villain just wanting to take over the world on occasion. That's cool. But I could understand, like you said, because Riri got him arrested, bro. Like he was trying to be low key his whole life. And not only did you get him arrested, but you got his secret identity, you know, thrown out the window. He's no longer Bob. Everyone knows he's Obadiah Stane's son now. And it was just, I could see his reasonings. And also, I kind of felt bad for him because living in a world where everyone is idolizing a man who you know is trash, is you're like an abuser who is a horrible dad, and everyone's telling you every day how great he is. And, you know, I feel so bad for him because of that. So, I honestly, at first, I wasn't feeling his character, but by the end of the season, I really enjoyed him as a character.
Me too. I'm rooting for him. I want him to be a good guy. I wanted him to be somebody that would actually be there and be there to help her and be on her side. But he's
Hmm.
still confused about where his place is right now. Quana, how do you feel about Joe, aka Zeke?
Um, yeah, it was sad. I like that they gave him a clear motivation for becoming evil, or at least the he. I think it toys with this idea of, are we born, are we made? And in one sense, you could see where maybe he'd spent his life fighting to be born evil, and it just took that one kind of carrot being dangled in front of him of getting free, of not being held prisoner, to flip him. I also kind of like the way it ended with him, like it's a possibility that we're still gonna kind of have to contend with this later. Because that's always, I think that in Marvel, that's always the thing that gets people, is when they leave problems unsolved and unresolved, it comes back later to bite them in the butt. And I think that's him. That's him from jump. It's like, this has been an issue in his life and it was never dealt with. And now his issues aren't completely resolved. So it's going to come back. But I hated that he flipped so easily, because he was kind of just like a casualty, you know.
But did he though? Did he flip so easily? Because he let her go, bro. So I'm like, he tried his best, you know. He
But
wanted to
said he
show
was
her
coming
like,
back. He said he was coming back. Like he said it's not over. He
Mhm.
said
but I
it's
mean,
over
like,
right now.
he didn't kill her. He didn't kill her like, you know, Parker wanted him to do. Because
Yeah,
I think he just wanted to shake her up a little bit, be like, look, you got me locked up.
no, I think he's still, yeah. Like, I mean, the core of him is still in there, I think.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's just showing like how easily manipulated he is. Because even Riri was able to kind of manipulate him very easily, for her being, kind of younger than him. He's very malleable to people who have more power taking advantage of him, I think.
Exactly.
I don't
That's
know.
some.
I don't know. I have to push back because Riri's a genius. And he was kind of fighting off, Parker when he realized that it's a bad guy. I don't know. Maybe is he gullible?
I feel like
Maybe.
it happened because I feel like he doesn't know his place right now. Like he doesn't exactly
Yeah.
have a clear path of who he wants to be. And when you haven't figured out who you want to be, you're gonna be whoever everybody else wants you to be in
Yeah, I
that
don't think it's
moment.
like a lack of intelligence, gullible, but I think it's just he's trying to figure it out. And so he's
Mhm.
kind of letting other people pull the strings, because eyes wide open, he should have kind of realized from jump, like, wait a second, this dude who just kind of waltzed in, invisible man, into my jail cell is promising me unlimited power and ability.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of went along with it because he was like, well, I mean, what else am I gonna do sitting in this jail, and right?
Yeah.
He was at that. Yeah, I probably would have whooped her ass too for sending me to jail. She would. She would have caught something too. Her man. That she can't say that's my man yet. She can't even get it out there yet because she's too heavily guarded. And that even AI Natalie is like, I know you. I know the way you feeling about old boy right here. Like I know it's something there, but Riri is just so heavily guarded that she can't even like let him in and open up enough for him to like be there for you. Like anytime anybody is trying to get in and get too close, she's gotta back away from it because she just cannot be. She is just not in a state to be vulnerable and transparent right now. But like we can see like every time, and it's so funny because and especially like I like Riri, I'm like the awkward black girl and the nerdy black girl, and so sometimes when that man is around that you like really like she don't even like know how to like fully like get in there and commit and like be there. Like she doesn't know how to like flirt properly. It's just like really awkward and clumsy around him. But like you can tell that like she really really likes this guy. And he's a good guy. Like I'm glad. Thank you, Marvel and Ryan, for like making sure that there are like just good black men on our screen. Like he's just an honest man. He's there being supportive. He's talented, not overbearing, and it's like we can see why she likes him, you know. Quanda, how you feel about Xavier?
I don't have a problem with Xavier. I'll be honest because I wasn't a part of y'all's conversation for episodes 1 and 3, but I was surprised because when we saw Wakanda Forever, I thought we were getting a Riri who had maybe other potentials, maybe different inclinations, and maybe she is bi or something. But I thought there was something going, like there was some chemistry with her and Shuri. So I was like, okay, I was like, oh, maybe I misread that. Maybe maybe I was picking up on something that was not okay. So then when we bring Ezekiel into it, I was like, okay. Now, having said this, I'm trying to be respectful to the fact that this is a coming of age story and Riri is a little younger, but I get why she is skittish. There's a lot that he represents, but he obviously is supposed to like her. And I'm just like, can we just get somebody in these shows who's not afraid to like voice their liking strongly and say, look, I want you, woman, but you're not ready for this yet. And just be like, just so that we know, okay, it's out there versus like this, like, will they, won't they kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It is a will they, won't they. But I'm like that. It would like the nerd, like I like, how do you even maneuver around stuff? But I get it. But see, and Wakanda Forever, I looked at her and Shuri as like, because Shuri's a bit older than her, that like a big sister, like this my big sister in Africa, like my rich. To me, it looked like she looked at her like a rich big sister.
And maybe it's because Letitia got
across the way
strong vibes.
Like I that's what I seen. Like I mean, like I would want people to hang out with me. Like if you want to come and hang out, I would want people to know like these my rich African cousins, you know? Like that's just what I was thinking in my mind. Because I was looking at Shuri and what's his name? In Wakanda Forever. I just knew they was gonna have some kind of watery romance or something. But yeah, but with Riri, I get it because she's such a nerd in there, and it's just like being around somebody that like you really like. It's just like, I don't know, I'm a terrible flirt and stuff, so I don't know, I'd be acting just like her. I don't know what to do with this man. That's fine. I would what I'm supposed to say. But like you said, Quana, he need to be the one to say something. like tell me, so I ain't got to be acting all weird and skittish around you. Like just say what it is, okay? You see me coming over here all the time. Say something, would you please, for me, my guy? Mm-hmm. I don't know. See, how did you feel about Riri and Xavier?
I feel like Xavier, handsome young man, but a total beard for Riri Williams. That is a gay woman. I don't care what nobody say. She had more chemistry with Shuri and Natalie than she did. And Natalie, I'm gonna say it again, than she did with Xavier. This may be, unpopular opinion. I feel like her and Natalie are in game. It's giving too much. It's like too much. Why are you bringing back this young woman? You know, it's your best friend over the man who raised you. You're not bringing back your dad. You're bringing back the young girl. It's because you got a thing for Natalie, bruh. That's what it is. It's giving, secret lovers.
If anything, I thought they might have pushed what's the name? The little Zelma, and we'll talk about her later. And she's a little nerdy something too. I love her. Because I love Cree Summer. I thought they would have pushed that. I like Natalie, to me, for Riri was like, because it looked like she was the only child. Because I don't think she had any siblings. I think it was just her. That was like her sister. And she couldn't let like her best friend, like her sister, go, like the closest person to you go. Like that was just like her attachment. Like I didn't see I didn't get the romance. I just got like, this was like my sister, because I didn't grow up with family type thing. But damn, y'all don't throw Xavier just out here to the wolves. Like he is just
Xavier's a beard. He's a front man. He don't even know it.
Ain't got nothing for poor Xavier. And Riri is fighting grief with the jaws of life. She is just not ready to seek help. She does not want to face her grief. Even Natalie was like, God damn, can you call Shuri? Like, at least they the rich ones over there. They got that, they got vibranium. They might could do something with Parker that you can't do. But again, Riri is prideful. She can't even go, if she can't even admit that she's still grieving, she can't even admit her not doing her schoolwork and flunking out of her classes. So she dang sure ain't finna go admit to the people who helped her in Wakanda to say that I started this, and to go to she's Riri got a whole lot of pride.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a whole lot of pride. And that's what that pride is what got her kicked out of school. That pride is what stopped her from being helped by the Wakandans. That pride is what stopped her from going to her friends and her mom and needing real help. That pride is what stopped her from talking to Parker in the first place about his cousin, about Rampage, all this pride that she had. That pride is what stopped her from talking to Xavier and getting close to him, but keeping that barrier up. I don't know. See what? Tell me about your girl Riri over here, because she's too. She is running from therapy with the jaws of life.
Yeah. I try to remember that she's still very much a young girl, put into a more mature position since she was even younger, right? She's been a genius. She's been around, people older than her, to being the youngest in the room. And also kind of being the head of her family now, because in her eyes, she has to protect her mother because her father's no longer around. So I thought it was interesting to see how they shown her dealing with the stress of it all. And it kind of reminded me of Iron Man movie 3, Iron Man 3, when Tony was dealing with so much anxiety and stress that he could barely be in his suit. Like, he was having panic attacks and everything like that. It was kind of reminiscent of that, but it was watching her go through it as a young woman. It just hit a little harder for me.
Oh, I'm back.
Hey. All right.
Well, then try and cut your camera off and see if we can hear you better.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about Riri over here and the way she running away from grief with all of this pride? She don't need no help.
It sounds black to me. Sounds real black. Like, she is definitely like an introspection on black culture, like how we handle problems within our own families and communities. Like, because we are made to be in this constant state of survival, we have this survival instinct. We think about take care of bills and job and school matriculation. We think about the tangible things more so than anything else, because that's how you survive. We don't think about the take care of my mental health, take care of the people around me, like their mental health. We don't think about that because that doesn't seem like a pertinent thing for survival in the moment, which is also why we die early a lot, because we don't take care of our mental health. So yeah, I think she's like a cross examination of black culture in general. And it's, like, we can say that, yeah, she is young, but at the same time, the thing she does in this show, I've seen personally, like, black men ages 40 and 50 do. Like, these are people who are supposed to be well adjusted, and they still run from these like almost intangible issues in their lives because those things don't put food on the table. We're thinking about that. We're thinking about the thing I can touch and feel. I need clothes. I need food. I need transportation. I need a job. Not thinking like I need therapy, man. Like, we think about that last. And that's her. That's her in a nutshell. She put off therapy. She put off just talking about needing therapy for so long. It actually started to annoy me. But at the same time, it was very true to us. And like Ryan Coogler, I mean, I know he didn't direct this, but he does that in like all of his content. He shines a spotlight on issues in the Black community, and he does so from a really creative perspective. Where if you're not paying attention, you might not catch it. But that's all I could see. Like I was seeing like my cousins in her. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing like friends in her. People I knew held on to like this deep rooted just turmoil that they was just pushing down and pushing down and pushing down, because that doesn't help them get up in the morning and go to work. That doesn't help me take care of my kids. It doesn't help me put food on the table. You know, like that, it is, to some of us, mental health is a waste of time. And it seemed like that was the core of her attitude.
Exactly. That's the same thing I was thinking. Quana, how did you feel about Riri and all her holding pride, but refusing to face grief and trauma?
Yeah, I mean, I think, what we see in almost every single Marvel character is a trauma response to something, and how each person responds to trauma differently. And with Riri, I kind of going to echo something that C said, which is the fact that she's been the smartest in the room. She said that on the very first episode, that she's been the person who had to explain her homework to her teachers because they're giving her work that they themselves don't understand. And I think someone with that level of intelligence, who's always used to being the smartest person in the room, they're going to have a hard time separating that intelligence with emotional intelligence. And then on top of that, you have the grief of, I've lost my dad, I've lost my best friend. I need to go into protection mode. So I need to do whatever I can do to make sure I'm never hurt in this way again. And we see that through the episodes. And, I will say, I think that the creator of the show, and the director, I think that they give the audience, especially with Marvel fans, a little too much credit to be able to realize that Riri is not evil. She's just hurting, because you hear a lot of the conversation online just being like, oh, she's evil, she's evil. No, she's a young woman who is hurting. Everything that she's doing is to help protect herself. And she doesn't ever mean, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Every time she messes something up in the beginning, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Because she's just acting out of trauma. And so I think they give too much credit, because obviously what she needed from jump was therapy. Immediately, as soon as this happened, you need to sit down and talk to somebody. Okay, like you need to go, I'm yes, I'm your mom, I can help you deal. But I imagine her mom was grieving, she just lost her man, she's grieving. Like they needed some heavy duty therapy. She should have never just been, okay, go off to MIT now and and function and be okay. And so we're seeing her just not even unpack this, because she's not. That's what the whole thing is. She's running from it the whole entire show. And I think people were expecting that to be resolved in 6 episodes. And it's like, even if she comes to realization that she's going through drama or trauma, that doesn't mean it's resolved in 6 episodes. Because once the first step is to realize that's what you're dealing with. Then you got to go through the process of unpacking it, healing from it step by step. And that's what I saw from her. I did see pride, but I think it's a pride of maybe her grief is the one thing she had. It's the one thing she owned that kept their memory alive. And if she really turned to help, someone would maybe take that from her. And I think maybe she doesn't want that.
Oh yeah, she's definitely sitting heavy in there, heavy in there, and that's why you're right. Maybe Marvel be giving people too much credit that they don't see this, that they're not looking enough to see that her aim is not to be a villain. Her aim was actually to help people, but her own grief and trauma is making her go about it in the wrong way.
I'm gonna revise that statement for a little bit, just a second, because I'm gonna take what I said back. It's not that they can't see it. They can see it in every other character. They just don't see it when it's this. Because we're supposed to be strong, and they don't see it when it's us. But they saw it. They saw it with Tony. They saw it with Scott. Because we after the first Ant-Man, what we were seeing Scott do, go through the trauma, losing his kid and being trauma. We saw it with Nat. We saw it with Clint suffering from losing that. We saw it with every other character, but she's not supposed to be going through, PTSD.
Thor. Okay, Thor had a right to be mad and lose his family. Clint
Thor
stepped
was
away
the
from
worst.
Yeah.
Like Thor killed every single Avenger movie or even Thor movie had him just losing as far as personal connections, and he kind of went into a shell. He became Fat Thor. That was depression. And we allowed him to work that out. And even still, even after Love and Thunder, when he takes on the God Killer's daughter as his own, he's still not healed. He lost Jane in that movie. He's still not healed. He's just getting by the best that he can. And people are accepting that. But then you see a girl who is not a god in any shape, form, or fashion. Thor has been around for thousands of years, and he still can't work this shit out. And she's 20 something, and y'all expect her to just. But they expect that from us all the time. That's why they see our kids as adults. They'll see a 12-year-old black boy and describe him as a man, because they don't give us that grace that they give everybody else.
Exactly. And I'm glad her mom stepped in to say that. And that was I'm glad that they showed that as well. Her mom not ignoring her pain, and her mom saying, I'm here. You got a parent that's standing right here that can see something's going on with you. What is happening to you? And forcing her to say, I know something is wrong with you. You're not doing a good job of hiding it. I'm a parent that actually see what's going on with you. I see that you're hurting. I know something is going on with you. The math is not mathing. You're going to have to say something about what's going on here. I can't keep doing this with you and acting like ain't nothing wrong. Riri, you're going to have to actually say what you feel, because I'm over it at this point. Quana, how you feel about Riri's mom?
Yeah, I love her character. I do wish I do want to stop doing the trope in these coming of age stories where the parent is just completely blind to what's going on.
Exactly.
And, they don't know anything. There was one moment, I think it was in episode 4, before she fully sits down with her and finally tells her, where she's interrogating her for where she's been, and she just takes her answer and she pushes back a little bit, but then she stops, and I'm like, my kids are nowhere near this age, but they do the littlest thing, and I'm asking every question in the book until they finally confess whatever it is. Oh, well, why'd you do that? Oh, well, tell me about this. Oh, are you sure that that's how it's happened? Okay, come on. I was just girl, do not take that as a response. You can see that your child is obviously look like she's tired, she's stressed out. Keep pushing. But that's just a trope for coming of age stuff that I just hate. Aside from that, I enjoyed the character.
Thank you, Quana. See, how you feel about Riri's mom?
I don't know about Riri Mama like that. Just like Quana was saying, I feel like she was, interested when she wanted to be interested, because how all of this is happening, and you don't really start really asking questions until Riri comes home with a black eye, and you gotta patch her up and stuff. And even her getting kicked out of school, why weren't you up at the school asking questions? This is MIT. Your daughter got a full ride, I'm assuming. I would be up in the school why did y'all kick her out? Can we appeal this? You gotta be right there with her, because you do have this young daughter who maybe has a lot of brains but not a lot of life experience, and that's literally what you have as a mother. You have life experience, So for me, it's like, I guess she did show up at the end, but too much of it was her kind of not being her Riri's advocate, and I don't like that. I wish Riri had more advocates.
Yeah, I wanted her to make her go back to school.
Yeah. Or at the very least, all right, well, we kicked out of here. Maybe we can apply for Harvard. Maybe we can apply for somewhere else. It was like, you was just like, all right, well, you're kicked out. So, let's just do nothing.
I thought she was gonna make her go back to school. I don't know if that was just me, but I thought I was like, for damn sure she's gonna make her get back into school.
Yeah,
Like,
say
all this
whatever
money
you
that
gotta
was
say to
spent.
get back in there. Just say it, right? Didn't do none of that.
Her mom is is definitely a background character in her life, not just in the show. But I think that has to do with her mom's own trauma. Like, as much as her mom pushes Riri to talk about her stuff, she doesn't talk about her own stuff. Like, when Natalie was created and she like appeared to Riri's mom, her mom's initial question was, "Can you do that for my husband?"
Right.
Like,
Very selfishly.
yeah, and it's like she has unresolved issues as well. Like, Riri didn't fall too far from the tree. They act just alike. And I mean, it's tragic because she is the mom and she is supposed to be the lead, but I don't think she is mentally prepared to reel her daughter in. I don't think she felt like she could reach her or talk to her, because it seemed like their entire lives stopped after that drive-by shooting. Riri started running and her mom stopped being involved.
Like, just let her handle it and process it with however way she was just gonna handle it. Just letting her do. And that was not for the best of her, because we see what happened when she went to college unprepared to deal with her grief. She just, I got to build my suit, and that was about it. But one thing her mom did was say, you need some magic. Okay, I got somebody for you. Turns out, because I thought they was about to waste Cree Summer, y'all. I thought they was going to waste her. Because they was just like, I know y'all are going to put Cree Summer in one episode and we ain't going to get her no more. Mm-hmm. But brought Cree Summer's back. She actually was training at Carmitage, where the sorcerers train. Mm-hmm. So she know a little something. She's just like, don't let this little crystal shop fool you. I'm here with this. Okay. I got my little abilities here. And in the first episode, she's just like, oh, Riri should meet my daughter. I didn't think we was ever going to get to meet the daughter. But in walks Zelma, who is actually a character in the comic books. So for y'all coming in these comments, it's just like, oh, here goes some more Black people. Uh-huh. Zelma is actually in the comic books as somebody who works under Doctor Strange. Ooh. She is a student of Doctor Strange, okay? She is a little sorcerer in training. So they didn't just bring her in here just for make-believe and for fun. She's actually part of the Doctor Strange universe. And they are there to test out Parker's little cape and find out it is not of this dimension. This is something, and not even outer worldly. This is some heavy magic within this thing, and not even the good kind. This is some dark sorcery here going on with him in that hoodie. And you don't need to be involved with it, because it's going to be way too much for you, Riri. You ain't ready for this level of magic, and neither are we. And I'm going to need you to take that outside. How you feel, C, about Zelma?
I like her. I almost want her to have her own little spinoff, because I'm interested in her character.
But that's what they say. Word on the street is that they are going to create a little, especially since they're building up like Young Avengers, is that they're somewhat going to have like the recreation of the Doctor Strange little sorcery school.
Okay.
Wizards or whatever. That she's going to be in. So when we dive more into Doctor Strange story. So I don't think this is going to be the last we see of Zelma.
I hope not, because I thought she was really cute. And honestly, with at least, the MCU, they haven't really provided any clarity on what differentiates a sorcerer from a witch, because we have witches a la Agatha, but we also have sorcerers. So I wonder what makes her a sorcerer versus a witch.
Mhm.
And I would just be interested in more of this character, especially given the kind of end credit scene that we got. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Quana, how you feel about Zelma and Kree actually being a sorcerer?
Okay, so unpopular opinion, and I do love Cree Summer. I did not love her in this role. When I saw, because I do feel like one, which I do like this renaissance of people kind of giving Cree her flowers and using her in their projects. However, I do feel like there's enough love to spread around. And as soon as I saw her and I thought about, okay, who the character might be attached to, I really wanted this character to be Rachel True. I feel like Rachel True, especially like as like a throwback to the craft, would have been really amazing. I do agree with like in terms of the differentiation between sorcery and witchcraft, because Marvel has teased, you have the tech powers versus you have the other world, other dimensional powers, and then you have sorcery and a la witchcraft, which also in the Marvel world kind of get their strength from other dimensional forces at times. So I like that this is the first time I feel like that they've given an even merger to that. Like we're combining the tech with that. I just think that they wasted so many other opportunities, and it makes me really nervous. Although I like Selma's character, it makes me nervous because a good tie-in with this would have been Cloak and Dagger. If they had continued Cloak and Dagger series, that would have been an amazing tie-in. And a lot of people didn't get a chance to see that series. And then even though it did come over to Disney Plus with the other ones, it kind of got buried. And so people don't even know about it. Like I find that like people don't even know that that was a thing. So it just makes me nervous. And then the whole Young Avengers thing, I don't know. I'm kind of like on the fence with Marvel with that. With like, I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it. Because y'all been teasing Young Avengers for a minute, and I really don't know what you're doing with these characters. It's not like that stuff could be in production. Those people don't have to be attached to these main storylines. So why haven't we seen this is in production now? We're working on it. But this character was amazing. I thought she was well cast. I loved Zelma. She was quirky. I do want to see more of her. And I'm interested, especially given when we talk about finally the post-credit scene later on, like the weird position that she kind of finds herself in and the implications that they have for it. But I thought the character was amazing, and I'm excited because it's giving us our little alt Black girl vibes. I like that representation.
I do too. I liked her. I was just like, okay, in walk all the nerdy Black girls. Come on now. And I didn't even think about Rachel True possibly being cast in that role. That would have worked. That would have been a good casting choice as well. I also I enjoy Cloak and Dagger. I don't care what y'all say. I know Freeform be doing a lot of foolishness, but if you ain't nobody else watch Cloak and Dagger, I watched it. Okay,
I did it.
It was so good, and the way they represented
me
New
watching.
Orleans, they did so good. It was so good.
And I'm a freeform girly. Like I love me a good freeform little show.
It was good. They did. I felt like kind of like with this, but I feel like Chicago was meant to be a character in this, and I think they started out okay, but then they kind of dropped the ball on it a little bit. But Cloak and Dagger, New Orleans was a character in that show. Like they did a really good job making it a character.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Charles, how do you feel about Zelma?
She reminded me of you. And
y'all, he can say this because we've known each other since we were in like 5th grade.
Yeah, like she was cool though. I really with the whole Cloak and Dagger thing. if I'm not mistaken, I think Cloak and Dagger and the Hellstrom series is like a different universe. But I think they're saving stuff like that for the mutants. And with them like introducing Mephisto, I can see them coming back around to the mutants with her being involved as well. But I don't know. She didn't make a big splash for me, but I did like the fact that there was some magical person in Riri's corner because coming from like this fight from a strictly tech perspective, and the actual villain is Mephisto, which is like we're talking about top tier villain. You're talking about Ghost Rider got to fight this dude level villain. You know, Riri was very much out of her league.
Mm.
But the whole like tech versus magic thing, that is like classic Marvel. It's like 1960s Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's throwback Marvel. And I really feel like they did a good job of paying homage to that clash of like themes. And I like the way that she was used to bridge Riri between like the tech and the magic aspect. 'Cause I didn't see Riri using magic to power her suit. I didn't see that as like the end game for this character specifically. But the way they brought it around was dope to me. And I did think when they first showed her, she was going to be like a one-off, which would have been a waste because she was actually pretty entertaining. Um, but yeah, I just see them trying to ease us into mutants. Like a lot of the projects, even from like of course Deadpool, but even from like Captain America and Thunderbolts, they're hinting towards mutants. And I know Disney want that mutant money because the X-Men is like the biggest thing in Marvel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like she's gonna be part of that bridge. I don't know if they're gonna do Young Avengers like how we're thinking about them, but I can see them doing like an offshoot, like having two sets of Avengers, like having the so-called Dark Avengers, which would be the new Avengers, the villains turn Avengers, and then having Sam Wilson's Avengers. And I think the younger group, like Kate Bishop, and then will be part of like Sam's Avengers instead of having like a kid Avenger team. Because a lot of those younger Avengers, aside from America Chavez, they're gonna be like 27, 28 by the time they do an actual young Avenger movie, and they're not gonna be young anymore.
Exactly. They need to stop calling them younger. These just the new ones. At this point, they just knew. But after her mom had to do some great intervening, like you need to face a little bit of this grief that you feeling. Reach out and ask for some help. Okay, let me tap into my resources. Now that Joe had choked shit out of her and broke her suit, we need we need a new suit. And I think this is her final one. She done went through 3 suits in this series. So this is suit number 3. And thanks to Zelma entering the chat, we have now combined the suit with some sorcery here, which will better equip her to deal with Parker. How did y'all feel about the new suit and actually using some Doctor Strange symbols in there to prepare her for her next battle with whatever it is that Parker got going on?
It looked like a Power Ranger suit.
It was a lot slimmer than her other ones have been. She's been suits for her to be so tiny. So I like that this one was a little bit more slimmed down.
It was funny when
resonant to her the one that she had in Wakanda too.
Yeah, it was funny when he called it Transformers, and then Anthony was in Transformers.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, and not only that, she made it from car parts. Like, yeah, she transformed the car.
She really is a transformer.
It's actually a transformer.
Yeah. I don't know if I can go ahead and suspend my disbelief, okay, about the whole car thing, because you're telling me she had to spend all of her money at MIT to get a suit together, right? All of her grant money. but she can just throw a suit together with a random car, the car that her daddy put together. So it's like, what? I don't know. I won't be too critical of that. I do like the colors. I do like the, the inclusion of magic and all of that. That makes it very much interesting, and it differentiates it from Iron Man's suit and, the Black Panther suit and all of that, the one that she got in Wakanda Forever. So yeah, I'm glad she got a little new situation.
Yeah, I still don't think it's fair that she didn't get to keep her Wakanda Forever suit. I don't think that's fair. I feel like Shuri should have gifted that to her.
Facts.
She wasn't ready for all that power. She wasn't ready. I wouldn't have gave her that. You see what she act like right now. She wasn't ready for no vibranium.
Well,
Yeah, they can't let vibranium just go anyway. Because like if somebody like beat her up and took the suit, now vibranium just out in the world. And that's their whole thing is like you can't let vibranium escape Wakanda. Like it's going to destroy the world. Like we normal human beings can't handle the responsibility of manipulating vibranium. That's their whole thing. And I know they don't really touch on the spiritual or like the magical aspect of Wakanda, but their god, Bast, strictly prohibits them from like allowing vibranium to be like taken away from Wakanda. And in the comments, like Wakanda gets destroyed kind of because of that. So like I can kind of see why they didn't want this super hot-headed, inexperienced chick to have freaking world-ending technology.
Yeah, but I think I could see in a world where it'd be gifted to her because of the sacrifices she made in helping them with their cause, because she wasn't Wakandan, she was recruited, and them kind of accepting her as one of them. And Shuri kind of saying, you earned this. You are one of us now. Like, we're the protectors of Wakanda, and we're considering you family now. It would have been a nice. I know we're not there yet. Maybe
they sent her right on back to America. They said, "All right, now you say."
That's because she told Shuri she got a girlfriend at home. That's why Shuri was.
Oh my god!
That's what it was. Shuri was a little bitter. She's like, "Oh, you about to go home with Natalie with my suit on?"
She wouldn't give her no pum pum. She was like, next."
Right.
Or Xavier. Y'all say Xavier and have a chance in hell.
Sure did it.
Man, like, oh no, man. Like Wakanda to me kind of reminds me of like the African and African American relationship in real life. They kind of look at us sideways, man. Like they kind of look at black people sideways in Wakanda. Like
but that's part of the part of the art was them kind of coming beyond that, right? T'Challa setting up the premise of we're gonna go over to Oakland and we're buying this building and we're giving to the community and we're opening our doors. And Shuri was supposed to kind of take up the mantle. So symbolically, her gifting that to Riri would be the same thing as her brother buying the property and creating that learning center in Oakland. Shuri was still grieving too. Her and Riri was both there grieving together. They can't help each other because they couldn't even help themselves.
I actually dig that though. I dig that because like if she would have gifted her the suit, it would have been like the next step of trusting the outside world, like from Wakanda. But at the same time, Shuri was like the complete opposite of T'Challa. Like he was like Killmonger told her like your fan was too soft. Like T'Challa was soft. He's softer than Shuri. Like Shuri was much more of a killer than T'Challa was. So I can see her sticking to the protocol of Wakanda a little bit stricter than T'Challa would.
They just saving it for season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course they're gonna bring them back. Of course. I don't know about that whole like Shuri and Riri thing y'all was talking about while I was gone.
Yeah,
we had a whole thing. See, this is what I said. I was saying Riri was looking at Shuri like that's my rich African
Y'all
kinfolk
missed all
that I
the
was
fan
gonna brag
edits that
about.
happened after
Okay.
that movie.
Quana, they not about to gaslight us. We know what we saw. We know
Bro,
what we saw.
because I just feel like they're my rich kinfolk. Y'all know I got cousins in Africa.
Like,
They got the ones that got money, but y'all was seeing something. See, I was rooting for Xavier. I was rooting for him.
She had more
I
chemistry
just
with
see
Shuri
it,
than
but
Shuri had with Namor, because they was trying to pretend like there was a little something with her. None of that.
None
I
of
thought
that.
Namor
None of
was
that
gonna
would
make Shuri his mermaid wife.
No, Shuri ain't don't get down like that. She not rooting for that team, bro. I'm telling you.
She was
it
looking
seemed
at
like
Namor real
Namor.
hard.
It seemed like Namor liked her more than she liked him.
Because
Like
she
it really
liked
seemed like
Okay, that
because
makes
she
sense.
liked in Riri. That's why.
because he was
He showed
definitely
up at
crushing. He
Riri's
gave her
courtroom like
that
this.
bracelet.
Exactly. He gave her
Yeah,
a token of love.
Nah, y'all
over
missed
there.
when she caught that side stance at the door. That's that power move right there.
How
She's
you
like, hey
doing?
girl,
wow,
what up?
See, y'all was
wow.
seeing stuff. I was looking at maybe that's me that I wish I had some rich cousins in Africa. Them projecting.
Hey, you got wishful thinking over there.
We got a question in the chat. Do you think magic conflicts with Natalie? And I was so if you're thinking about it now, see, because I watched a little anime, and when Zelma said, you do a little magic now, it's gonna be some sacrifices to be made. And y'all that watch the craft, y'all know that too. You can't just kind of throw something out there without something coming back to you.
Mhm.
And we threw some magic out at the suit, and Natalie had to be sacrificed. That's alchemy right there. When I look at Doctor Strange and all of their little symbols and stuff, I'm thinking alchemy. And so what they say, it got to be of equal or greater value to get what you want. Riri wanted a suit that could match the level of Parker's hood, and Parker's hood comes from a different dimension. This is some strong magic here. In order to do that, she had to sacrifice something that she didn't even create purposefully, which was a mental projection from her mind, creating this lifelike AI companion. Something had to something when I knew something had to be given up in extreme, and she had to give up Natalie. So I definitely think that that the trade had to be heavy, and Natalie had to be traded. I don't know what you think, C.
Yeah, I agree. Energy can't be created; it can only be transmuted, and that's the price it took. It took, her girlfriend to, be out of there.
There
And
y'all go. Why can't she just be a sister?
she had to pay the price. Even with Hood, he's paying the price for the cape with his soul, and she had to pay the price for Natalie. It is what it is. And honestly, it wasn't that much of a loss because Natalie wasn't that great of an AI anyway. She was always leaving her high and dry, always, not there when she needed her. Got her falling out the sky. Like she was not it. And she was only
Natalie
putting
was
out
having panic attacks and catching attitudes.
yeah. Dipping when I need the suit and you ain't even trying to move the suit for me. Like, what the hell?
Every time, girl, where you at?
Exactly. It's not a loss. It's not a loss.
Quana, how did you feel about this trade of the suit? Did you think that was a worthy trade, or did you see that being the trade?
I mean, it makes complete sense. Natalie, even though she's AI, she represents the heart of Riri, the soul of Riri, right? She is like the manifestation of the thing that Riri cares most about. She embodies all of that. And I think what we see, what Zama said about magic, and when you think about every character that uses it, it draws from the person's soul. And it draws from either the dark energy of their soul or the light energy of their soul, depending on what their motivations are. So we saw with Parker, it drew from the darkness in his soul because his motivation was dark. It wasn't for good. And in Riri's case, her motivation, at least when it was initially put on, it was good, but it still took that sacrifice. So it makes sense that it would corrupt that projection of she needed to wrestle with not having Natalie. And so it makes sense that it took from that. So that completely made sense. Like it was trying to force her to could contend with the fact that she didn't need Natalie in that way, that she needed to handle and deal with it, and she failed the test, but
Yeah, she did. Her prideful, stubborn ass still couldn't let go.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the expense of you got with the suit that you wanted and you still didn't want to pay the price for it. Charles, how did you feel about Natalie being the sacrifice for the sorcery?
I knew it was gonna be something. Cause little sorcery shorty was like, yo, she said the whole exchange thing like 3 times in the show. So I knew they were foreshadowing something to happen once they start powering the suit with magic. And the fact that she couldn't save Natalie by like uploading her to the laptop, like that, in my opinion, wasn't a time thing. That was just a magic thing. Like she had to lose Natalie to get the magical, power she needed for that suit. So yeah, it made sense. And I also, in those last 2 episodes, they kept creating like situations where we got to see Riri handle things outside the suit. So we know that she's like more than just the suit. They did the same thing for Tony. And they do that a lot with superheroes. Like they lose their powers or they lose their access to certain weapons or abilities or whatnot. And you get to see how the person handles extreme situations. Like a superhero is more than their tools. So I knew she had to lose something going into that final fight in order for us to see like her true self and not just her relying strictly on technology. So I mean, it made narrative sense. I didn't like it though, because I like Natalie. I mean, I know she was like screwing up, but I think a lot of that was Riri's own personality imprinting on the AI. Because part of it was, Natalie, like her memory of Natalie. So she had aspects of Natalie's personality. But when she froze up with that gun was pointed at her, that was Riri freezing. And like Natalie shared her psyche, so they both froze. Like she pretty much imprinted panic attacks onto an AI. So I mean, all that Natalie issues was Riri. It was Riri's issues manifest through Natalie. So I don't blame Nat for that. And I like the character, so
It is true, and more reason why Riri needs to take her ass to therapy because her own issues are being projected right in front of her, and she still don't want to see it. It's in your face, and she still will
you
not.
making stressed out robots. Like what the hell?
Too much personality and an artificial intelligence. And Parker here we see as his descent into darkness. The whatever this scarring is, these markings on his skin are spreading from his back to his arms to his face. Now, mind you, it didn't take away from him being fine, but it is spreading. I don't know why he didn't stop then to like this might be a good time to like stop putting it on. But no, he had to go right over there. Now I'm gonna need C to explain to me how his daddy ain't raggedy, because his dad was like, I ain't want you.
His daddy ain't raggedy because we see that Parker is an F up from the beginning. He's an addict. He has all of the advantages in the world. Yet he out here gang banging with his cousin out here in the streets. Like, sir, no, you had every advantage. And he thinks he's doing something by, getting on the payroll of all these tech companies. Like, okay, you want ultimate power. Your ultimate power is getting on the payroll. You ain't even running the company, bro. You was like, yeah, I need six paychecks for me and my homies. And like, this is what you thought of. This is why your daddy didn't want you around, because you got to think big, right? You're thinking small. You got to think big. He's an F up. He's an F up. He's an addict. We see it through the cape that he's not being possessed, he's being influenced, right? So he still has free will to an extent. And he's still choosing to do this. He's choosing to disappoint his family. He's choosing to, you know, go against everyone, even his false family or his found family. And it's like I can see. I don't think Dad was that bad. He probably gave up on him after a while. But this is something, Parker. He's a disappointment. Sorry.
Parker just needed a hug. That was all. He just needed. He ain't even properly grieved his cousin the way that he should have. He just needed somebody to pull him in to say, you know, I see you, son. How you know what you ain't got to do all of this. You need just
I
come
don't think none of that would have helped. I think he just a thug that wanted power.
Facts. And his daddy couldn't do nothing with that. It was just in him. It was just in him. Don't blame Dad now. Don't blame Dad. We don't know the whole story. We just know what.
I'm trying hard to take up for Parker. I don't know. Quanta, help me out now.
Okay, what little bit we got of his dad, right? And there was the comment about him abandoning him and his mom. And so I was getting Brian McKnight vibes off of Daddy.
That's what I was getting.
I was getting
feeling some Brian McKnight deadbeat.
Yeah. So I do think we don't know the full story, and I wish that we had gotten a little bit of a even younger flashback to kind of understand, was this just a child's interpretation of not having a present father because they put all their efforts into work, which is bad, but can be kind of like looked at as, okay, through a child's eyes, you don't understand that sacrifice, and you don't feel it's justified. You just need some good therapy, and this person does need to do better. I don't know if we were there or if it was just full on abandonment. So I kind of feel like that was a little unclear, because I thought, oh, okay, he was pulling a Brian McKnight, but he still shouldn't have threw out his found family like that. So at that point, he's still trash. I don't understand how, and I guess it is kind of allegorical for people who try to join the thug life when they really didn't need to come from that life. They really weren't about that life, and now they're trying to go super hard.
Dang, throw King Harris under the bus then. I said, just throw King Harris under the bus then. Just throw T.I. son all the way under there.
It's a lot of them who we could put in. I see it all the time in schools. Boo-boo, you acting like you from this corner of Charlotte where you really over here. I'm just down somewhere. So he was just doing too much. But then to find out that all this time you were stealing from your daddy, you could have been stealing from anybody, any of these like raggedy behind, and that's poetic in a sense, because we do a lot of times hurt ourselves more than we hurt the real oppressors. You out here stealing from your daddy who got a little coin, probably one of the only Puerto Rican men with that kind of coin. You stealing from him instead of going and stealing from the man. What kind of
facts? So let's not go on to Daddy, because quiet as it's kept, he knew it was his son who broke into his house in the first place, and he still let him go. He didn't send the police after him. He ain't press no charges. He was like, all right, let him just act out. He ain't about to be over here.
What if it's like comic book accurate, because they said his dad like worked for Wilson Fisk, so really he's stealing from gangsters anyway.
Well, if it's comic book accurate, then Parker ain't shit anyway. He ain't shit in the comics, so who cares?
Yeah, he so ain't shit in the comics. Like he a million times worse in the comics than what we saw. Like he's actually sympathetic, a sympathetic character in the show. Like in the comics, he is literally just a thug with power. He's a henchman with above henchman ambitions.
We ain't putting on that black Puerto Rican man right there. No.
I would like to say that, like,
that young man.
Like, the casting for his dad, that shit was spot on. Like, how they do that?
Yeah,
because they look alike.
Look like too, very, very much.
Yeah. It was great casting, but we was talking about in the first 3 episodes. We were talking about how it had to be more to the hood than just money and power, and it was, but it was still equally as like selfish and insignificant. He just wanted to fuck with his dad, like I mean, come on, man. You got all the power in the world. That's what you want to do. Like, yeah, I just can't ride with him. I'm not saying Pops is bad. Man, Pops ain't bad. I think Pops got issues too, and I think he is part of like the Wilson Fisk whole thing with like Owl and these different crime bosses or whatnot.
Well, see,
But we didn't.
I don't
Go
know if
ahead.
his actual motivation was his dad. It's because if it really was, he had the opportunity to say that with Mephisto. He could have said, I want my dad to love me. He didn't say that. He said, I want power. I want to be a king. That's what he said. He's grimy.
Yeah, I think he wanted to outdo his dad. He wanted to show his dad up. Like, he was beyond wanting his dad's attention and love. He wanted his dad's like ire. He wanted to outdo him, outperform him, be a bigger and better and badder man than his dad could ever be. And then rub it in his face. Like so yeah, his whole thing was selfish. And then turning his back on his crew and also killing Eric Andre. Like, yeah, man, like he started to become like irredeemable towards the end.
And now I do have a quick question, because I was like, maybe I missed something, because when I watched the first 3 episodes, I was getting my hair done, y'all. So, but I had a question, because did they ever say anything about his backstory in terms of like whether like his dad, like he was maybe born in New York and moved to Chicago? Because I know in the interviews they made it seem like Anthony was responding like the character was from Chicago. And that bothered me, because I was like, Anthony, you couldn't on your life hide that New York accent. And so it was bugging me, because I was like, that would have been a cute little backstory, because like CT was saying, then you could connect the daddy to Kingpin, because that is a part of their story anyway. So why not throw a little nugget in there about like maybe like they moved from New York to Chicago to start over, or to like take over a new territory or something. And then when he saw Mephisto and then he was asking what he wanted, maybe he wanted to say, I want to take power from the king or something like that, like a little hint, like not just straight power, but like a little hint to he was trying to usurp his dad's power. And so then we would understand like why he was willing to risk. I mean, of course, we know that that's what he means when he says he wants power at that point. Okay, yeah. But that would make a little bit more sense why he was willing to risk slugging all them, because it was ultimately trying to steal that power from his daddy and get that revenge on his daddy. So he was willing to sacrifice all them.
Yeah, I dig that. I was definitely getting Kingpin vibe based on the people they were like screwing over throughout, especially that highway thing. Like, all that felt like it was connected to like Kingpin and his greater scheme. I just know like in the comics, Kingpin controls like 90% of all crime in the world. Like you can't even steal a purse in Italy without knowing about it, type of stuff. So, I don't think he needed to come from New York, but yeah, he definitely had that NYC accent. That shit was coming through.
He can't hide that accent for his life. He was trying, and I watched the interviews with him, and he was like try to like I don't know what you thought you was doing, bro. That Brooklyn just came up out of you.
Speaking of accent, y'all, why Mephisto was switching accents between talking to
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
He was between talking to Parker and then when he was talking to Riri, because shouts out if y'all didn't know, Mephisto was like Satan for the Marvel universe. And so we come to find out that the way they flipped it in the TV show was that Parker didn't steal the hood from a demon. Mephisto gave it to him because he basically made a deal with the devil. And everybody knows if you make a deal with the devil, a sacrifice is going to be had. And you are signing up for that sacrifice. And Parker, because you did that, now these dang scars is taking over your whole body. and you done lost your cousin. But he said, but that he was like, you ain't even gonna miss what you're gonna sacrifice. And
Right.
but he's telling them it's going to be a sacrifice going to be made to get the things that you want. So Parker literally had free will. He signed up for some foolishness to take place so that he could get the money and power he was seeking. Talking to Mephisto over here. And if you pay, when people start stirring spoons and glasses and stuff like that, I start getting get out flashbacks. So I
Yep, I
start
was
paying
thinking that
attention,
too.
and I'm like, well, what is going on here? And if you hit the pause button, you get a brief image of of his face in the spoon. And that kind of reminded me of, for those of you who did watch part 4 of The Matrix, there was like scenes where Neo and Trinity you would see glimpses of what they look like to everybody else in this new Matrix, because they thought that they looked like themselves in the old Matrix. It's like little glances of things. So you got to see what he's actually going to look like when he's full on Mephisto. But right now, he's presenting himself as somebody who can be relatable and have a conversation just like a regular person. But shout out to Sacha Baron Cohen for this. Quana?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the changing of the accents because I think it adds to that lore of Mephisto being able to appear to anyone, being able to entice different people. The idea that perhaps we have seen his works in the MCU already, even though they didn't want to directly say it was him. Of course, a lot of people speculate that Mephisto was at play in the Doctor Strange
Multiverse.
of Madness,
Agatha,
Agatha,
WandaVision. They've
yeah.
been trying to
So
toss
I
them
like
out
I
for a
liked
while.
that aspect of it. Sacha Baron Cohen, though, is an interesting choice. On the one hand, I don't dislike the choice all the way. I think he could do a good job. I will say this. I'm not, after the whole Jonathan Majors of it all, I kind of hope that we don't see where so much is rested on him appearing in this way. And I think the good thing is with Mephisto can appear in different forms. So I kind of hope that they play into that. That way we don't have so much of the future projects rested on one character, one actor. I will say that.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, oh, I said, is he gonna be? And then they revealed it. I was like, okay, they did it. They finally ripped the Band-Aid off and brought him into the MCU. So
y'all know the people been waiting. Like I said, people been waiting on him since I think like WandaVision.
Yeah.
Waiting on them to pop out.
Yeah, that was like the first like rumors when because of that book she had. That's what everybody was drawing the connection to, the Darkhold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they really did like try to divert us from Mephisto by claiming that the cloak was a product of Dormammu.
Uh-huh.
But like if I'm not mistaken, because I don't read Avengers like that. I'm an X-Men fan 4 person. And I know the Hood mostly interacts with like Avengers characters. If I'm not mistaken, he stole the cloak from Dormammu in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like if you're a comic book fan and you kind of know his story, they kind of like that misdirect hit you harder than most people. Because for me, I was like, yeah, that's Dormammu's thing, and then it was like, nah, it's Mephisto. I'm like, damn, like they got me. But I was happy to see him. I was waiting to see him because for me, a lot of people think Ghost Rider when they think Mephisto, but I think X-Men because I think Bobby Drake and I think Iceman freezing over hell, that comic book. And like I was saying, like it's so many like Easter eggs and references to X-Men that have come about since Deadpool and Wolverine. And this is just another one for me because I'm waiting for X-Men, to be honest. I love Ironheart, great movie. I love Thunderbolt, man, great series. Love Thunderbolts, love freaking Captain America, but come on, I need my X-Men.
And yet, this is them teasing us just a little bit more.
No, man.
about the reveal. reveal of Mephisto that we've been waiting on?
I for a second I thought Quanta was going to talk about his SA allegations, or so I was like, oh, is that
I didn't want to. I'm glad I didn't want to. That's why I was kind of hinting at. But I didn't want to come out and say it
because I hope we ain't just riding on this look.
Right, just in case, right?
Between that and between like where he draws support in things that are happening in the world and things like that, it's like,
oh yeah,
I know we're riding high on this, but
honestly, outside of him as a person, I feel like I enjoyed his performance. I feel like there's something a little eerie about Sacha Baron Cohen. I don't know what it is. It's something a little like it makes you a little uncomfortable, and I feel like that is a interesting aspect to have to this character, because you should feel that. You should feel like a little weirded out, like a little unsafe. Like, is this what's going on here? That's what it was giving. I liked the switch of the accents. I like that his look was more. Not otherworldly, but it was kind of timeless. He could be, if you look at him, he can almost be from any time period. And I thought it was things like that I thought were really great touches. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I like to see Mephisto here.
Bro looks sleazy, is what it is.
He does. I will say he's always played villainous characters so well.
Uh-huh.
Like, even from playing Monsieur the Naughtier in Les Miserables, right?
Oh.
Like, he always plays grimy, having little Cosette sit on his lap. Like, come on, dude, like inappropriate. He plays sleaze real good.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder if they're queuing up to do Masters of Evil.
I don't know. It's I don't know if they were going to go in that direction, only because that wouldn't be no time soon. And Sacha Baron Cohen, he ain't a young man now. He ain't an old man, but he ain't a young man. And they still haven't got the X-Men yet, like CC said.
But they got Ultron coming out with, he's getting his own show, I think, coming soon, right?
Oh, he's rumored to be a part of Vision Quest.
Yeah, Vision Quest. Yeah. So I mean, I could see not full blown Masters of Evil, but I could see like maybe them doing something with Hood or like get some of the characters, pull Zemo into it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I thought they were going that direction when in Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, because of like Zemo, and when we started to see like his inner workings of like his world. It took us to that city that's like a hub for like the mutant black market and stuff. Like, I thought they were going in that direction, but at the same time, I see a lot of like Midnight Sun too. Like, I see a lot of that here and there. It's like Marvel got so much stuff that they could do. It's kind of to the point where it's like, make up your mind and like take a direction.
Well, I think they gotta let go of having the singular universe. That's why I did like the Netflix stuff, and I liked the idea of like when we had the Freeform stuff and the Hulu stuff, like the idea that they're kind of together, but their actions don't directly impact the main storyline. So it allowed them to they could have more projects happening simultaneously. Now everything is dependent upon the main storyline, and we gotta make sure we don't hint to nothing, or and it's like, just make it happen. Just let us know it's a different Earth and keep it pushing.
That's it right there.
Yeah. I mean, and like the TVA would have been a good like medium for that. But like the TVA is they've kind of been made obsolete after Deadpool. They just don't seem like a threat, or they just don't seem. And then like, how you gonna make that come full circle without Jonathan Majors? Like, his whole case kind of screwed up Marvel.
The consequences of his actions. Look at that.
Marvel just out here like, we'll make it work some kind of way. Y'all forget about it in 2 movies.
That's why they gotta let go, making so much dependent upon. I think what I felt it was with Chad, and y'all, I can't say his name without getting emotional. But I think with regards to that, it just shows that like this is the one place where you have the opportunity to do things differently, because when you rest everything in one actor and you hope that, you go into a project and you have planned a trilogy, you hope that that actor makes it through the trilogy, but life is life and life be life in it. Sometimes life happens. So it's like, if you have a place where you can deviate, why not play into that? That way you're not rested on real life things happening sometimes.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they diversify after like Secret Wars. Cause I mean that's like, I think they're gonna do like the Ultimates like incursion thing, especially after Deadpool. It feels like they're going in that direction. But like, that's your opportunity. Like I think they're going in the direction of Secret Wars brings everything together, and just the way that they've been handling things lately, that just feels messy. So like, if Secret Wars ended with like multiple universes having like their heroes, that could work a little better, I think. And but I don't know, man. Like, it's real deep. It's real deep with Marvel. They got so much to pull from. Like that whole Doomsday thing, Avengers Doomsday. Like, I saw like a teaser poster and they had like uh Ultron and Doctor Doom and like two other guys. It's like, and they're all supposed to be from different universes. It's like, come on, man. I can follow that shit, but you got people that can't even they can't even follow the fact that the X-Men from Fox aren't even in the MCU. So it's like,
After
Oh, he looks cute here.
girl, he look cute everywhere.
y'all wildin', bro. That's the only reason why you like Transformers, Kima. The only reason, because that movie was not good.
Was I the only one that
The
liked
only thing,
Transformers Rise of the Beast?
I didn't even watch it because I was like, they not about to do that black girl like that, and they sure did, and I didn't watch it.
that's hilarious.
No, when I tell you I love me some Dominique Fishback, that was the only reason. Now I like Anthony, but Dominique Fishback, that's my girl. I had to go support.
Yes, I love her too. This was good. Okay, it helped that we sprinkled him in there, but he's so
Man,
much
it was
finer in
so.
Ironheart. He's so much finer in Ironheart. Okay, I don't know what about it was him coming over to the dark side, scars and all. But I almost wasn't rooting for Riri here. I had to remember who the real villain was. I had to remember real quick whose side I was supposed to be on. But I like that she used the hologram of herself, because he really was shooting her. I said, go shoot her for real? That fast? I was like, well, damn. Good thing it wasn't her, because he really was like about to pop off on her. But he shot the hologram. She faked him out. He wasn't ready for her to have magic, which was like something he didn't prepare for, because he was like, you ain't gonna be ready for this hood. And she was. And I'm glad she snatched it off of him. And then he immediately went into like drug withdrawals. Like, what are you getting from? Like, don't nobody need to put this on if it's like having on heroin, because that's what he was acting like without it. He had to like was about to transform into a straight up demon from hell. And I'm like, are we not seeing like this is what Mephisto was probably wanting, was like creating people who are eventually going to turn into little demons, which eventually will do what? Return right on back to him, since he is the saint of the Marvel universe. But he had your boy out here wilding real fast. Like, you should be telling her thank you for taking this hood away. You was turning into a whole hobgoblin when she stripped that hood off of you, before she took the hood off. See, how did you feel about her being able to take his hood away? Because he was really wilding.
I told y'all that man is an addict. He has addictive personality since he was a kid. That's why his daddy ain't want him around, and he's a mess. But I did like how they showed like that transformation. Like, he looked like vicious, right? Mm-hmm. And it makes me wonder where it could go, because if he no longer has the hood, he's looking for something, right? He's looking for something. And I wonder how deep they're going to make that transformation. Are we going to see him in full like demon mode eventually if they do a season 2? I did like the fight. I think the CG looked pretty good throughout the series. And yeah, it was a very interesting ending and a very interesting fight.
Yes, it was. Quana, how did you feel about him actually, the hood turning him into full on demon and her being able to take it away and watching him go through withdrawals like that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I wanted to see my girl win. But I'm happy for the outcome because I do like Anthony and I want him to win. I've been rocking with Anthony since Hamilton. So, I was glad that Jasmine kind of came out and publicly forgave him so I could stop hating him because he was on my boo-boo list. Um, and I liked the use of the hologram because it went to the tech that she was using with regards to Natalie. So it kind of showed that aspect of like being able to tap into that. So I thought that was really a smart way to use it. And yeah, just the idea, like I said, I like this dynamic that this is pulling in that magic in tech because they've been there, but it's kind of been like separate. Like you had like very much like Doctor Strange is his own separate thing and there's magic. And then you had the moments where, yes, he came into like Endgame and things like that, but it really wasn't like explained in any way for real. So I kind of like how we're having the two finally like feel like they're meeting together for real.
Mm-hmm. And Parker said I wasn't ready for that.
Was not ready.
He didn't prepare for her to throw some wizardry at him. Charles, how did you feel about her snatching the hood away from him?
I thought it was a dope fight. I like the fact that it was different because one one critique that I hear a lot, and it's kind of valid, is that Marvel kind of drops the ball on the finale fight scenes because it's just a CGI mess. With this fight, it was so self like contained. It was in a small area. It was like a superhero bar fight, you know? It wasn't like a knockdown, drag out, have the city destroyed type of fight. And just that personal uh aspect of the fight made it more intense, even though it was pretty short fight, but it told a story in itself. And I dug that a lot. His transformation was I didn't see that coming, but he was wilding. Um
Exactly.
and the whole like, explosion and hologram thing, that was dope too. I kind of figured it was a hologram, and I knew for a fact he would pull that trigger because, bro, if there was anybody in this world that he loved, it was his cousin. And his whole driving force for getting Riri was his cousin. So it was no way, especially being influenced by that cloak, there was no way he was not gonna pull the trigger, in that moment. But I do like the fact that she used restraint because she could have just blew a hole through Buddy's chest. And I probably would have done that after he shot my hologram. Cause like, come on, fam. If that was me, I would have been dead. But you shot my hologram, I gotta take you out. I'd have blew his head off. Just to be real.
I'm still mad. I was just like, he was really gonna shoot her. But that demon was taking over, and I'm glad we actually got to see that, how the evil that was seeping through. So that we on the outside are looking like you can't make a deal with the devil and come out on top. Like you're never going to truly win. And he was so deep in the trenches that he didn't even see that he was really losing the fight. And Riri was like, not today. And she had to see this person who ultimately took her in, put some money in her pocket, become a whole demon withdrawals drug addict looking person laying on the floor. Like this was not the Parker that handed her a couple stacks, but like a hurt person.
Yeah, like, and Riri had a connection with everybody in that crew. Like, you can tell she low key cared for them. Even Johnny, Parker's cousin, because she felt guilty about his death. And that team that Parker had, they had a connection with each other as well. Like they were actually family. If you really think about it, they acted and reacted like family. And once Clown figured out that I forget Rampage was murdered by Parker, you know, the family turned on him. I think that was all an aspect of the cloak too, because Mephisto never told him nor Riri what they would be losing. He just said it was something that they wouldn't miss. But like Parker lost his family, the one that actually cared for him, not his dad, but you know, his makeshift family. And I think that was all just part of like the curse of the hood. So yeah, ultimately I'm seeing Riri losing her family later. I don't know.
Yeah, see,
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
she wanted to see him in that kind of light. Like I think that she respected Parker and didn't think that it would get like the way that it did with him in the end. Although she did not have the right to judge Parker at all, because now she's sitting over there. She got the sitting over there, a cloak in hand, right across from Mephisto, from who all of a sudden then changed his whole accent, sitting in front of her and offered her a deal. It was like, I'm gonna give you an offer that you can't refuse. I mean, you can, but you're probably not going to. And apparently, Riri did not grow up watching Pet Cemetery, because she was really highly considering that. And I don't know if y'all saw what I saw, but they had a few flashbacks of her and her curly hair, of what it would look like had she have brought Natalie back to life, which we know never works out when you bring somebody back from the dead. But if you slow it down, that last hug through Natalie was purposeful, because Riri got them same scars that Parker had on his skin was starting to form on her arm, which told us that even though they didn't show her shaking Mephisto's hand, we can decipher from that that she yet again made the wrong choice, and that was to not deal with her grief and instead divulge herself in another Natalie replacement. Quana, what did you see in that scene with her sitting down with Mephisto?
So two things. One, I'm glad that the ending with Parker ended the way that it did, because maybe it will finally shut up the people who are just looking for reasons to hate this show. And they spent the whole first 3 episodes talking about Riri being a villain and she's a criminal and she's a criminal. And it's like, okay, yeah, she sold some papers to her classmates, okay, but she really wasn't really on that level. Then after John, they were like, see, she killed that man. And it's like, that was completely an accident. You could literally see she ran out. The suit grabbed her to save her. It wasn't her fault that the door locked behind her. John could have ran his behind out and ran out if he would have not been standing there looking like that. So we see that she still doesn't have that evilness in her. Like, she's still not willing to kill in order to stop this. And I think also the attachment to, not really, she's not attached to Parker, but I think just she did have enough insight to stop what could have been like her crossing over in that way. When we get to the part with Mephisto, though, I think there's still the way that they shot that end scene is very, very weird in a couple of ways. Of course, one, because we see, of course, that she has the veins coming out of her arm to suggest that this isn't just all the other visions that was kind of populating her head, that Mephisto was making to kind of figure out what she wanted, but this was really possibly real, and that she had made a wish for her to come back, and that was what that was. But I do think that if that was what she wished for, maybe there's still hope for her, because unlike Parker, she doesn't just wish for power. Because unlike Parker, she does wish for something out of maybe a sense of goodness. But I think what we'll see is probably in another season, her fighting tooth and nail to keep Natalie in her life, and that will be maybe her thing that she has to come over. But I don't know if y'all saw above. It was above the scene in the wall. It was the Good Wrench logo, but the CH was off, and it just said Good Re. And so I saw that at the end, and I was like, okay, maybe this is like a subtle Easter egg to let us know that like she's still good, even if she made this decision. Ultimately, she's still going to be a good person.
We missed that. Damn.
Yeah, the rest of it was crossed off and it just said good reads. It's a good RI.
That's wild.
Charles, how did you feel about her making that trade? Or do you
Um,
think that she like, because I think that she shook his hand and she won't, because I feel like she's not dealing with her grief, and that she traded in this alternate, another version of Natalie.
I think she made the trade. I think that her journey towards like her growth isn't complete. You know, this was just like step one. And ultimately, because just knowing Mephisto's stories, she's gonna have to give up Natalie in order to break the curse or whatever. And I think she did, you know, take that deal. Um, Outside of like Doctor Strange and maybe Johnny Blaze after he got the Ghost Rider powers, I can't think of a single person in Marvel Comics who didn't take the Mephisto deal. Like everybody takes the deal, but he always comes at people's like lowest moment or when they are in the most need for something. So yeah, I'm pretty sure she took the deal, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna have to give that deal up in order to undo what she's done.
See, you think she took the deal? Did it look like that to you?
I don't see how there's any other way to interpret it. That she definitely took the deal. And I like how they shot it, but she's never beating those criminal allegations now. Is all the trolls are going to be like, see, she is evil. She took the deal. She got the demon scar on her. So I did like
Right.
the ending. I did, because I felt like it stayed true to the character. She's always been,
Mhm.
you know, not really thinking things through in her like regular life. She's very smart, but she makes stupid decisions, even down to even joining up with Parker. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting ending. She definitely took the deal though.
Well,
I wish somebody would like. Well, they are gonna be like, oh, she took the deal, whatever. She's bad, but it's like, bro, freaking Ghost Rider is Ghost Rider because he took the deal.
and they damn sure waiting on Ghost Rider, waiting on
Bro,
Marvel to
what
come out with an
man?
updated Ghost
I like Johnny Blaze. He's one of my favorite characters, but I am hoping for Robbie Reyes just so they'll be mad it's the Hispanic Ghost Rider.
Oh, they ain't even. There's gonna be a whole other boycott. And for those, letting y'all know, if y'all didn't watch it all the way through, that it ain't no way you got this far watching Marvel without knowing there's some end credits. It ain't no way you made it this far. But this also had end credits, as a lot of the movies and the TV series do. And we have not come to the end of Parker's story just yet. Parker said, so we doing magic now? Is that what we're doing? we got magic and symbols now? Cool. Went right on over there to the little magic shop. Said, let me holler at Zelma real quick, like, apparently he's still fiending for something. And I wish that maybe Riri would have told them a little bit more about Parker, showed them some pictures to let you know, like, if you see this guy, this who it is. But now Parker all in there with Zelma, and she about to help Buddy and get him exactly everything he needs so he can go get it back in blood. Riri. She should have been a little bit more detailed. See what you think popping up at the end of this, that Parker is trying to go feel his need for some more magic, and Zelma being completely clueless about who this man is.
I think she's gonna take him over to another like area. I feel like we might see what's his name? Not Doctor Strange. Who's his homeboy? Is it
Wong?
Wong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we might see him because she's taking him over there. I feel like that's my opinion.
I think that, I don't know. That might be something. Now that'll be something if he go train at Carmitage and really come back and whoop her ass after that. After he get the real sorcery training. Now that'll be something. Quana, what do you think this encounter will turn into later on?
I I wish Riri could have said more, but I can understand kind of the cloak and dagger of it all, pun intended, why that didn't happen. But I will say it makes me worried for Zelma because she does have so much power. And like her mom was kind of telling her, like, she's not checking herself on the things that she knows she's supposed to do. Her mom tried to tell, you can't just be going to no other dimensions. You can't be creating. She's like, well, you said you didn't tell me I couldn't create a room in another, another dimension. She's skirting the lines of the things that she's learned that she knows she's supposed to do to responsibly use magic. Why is this random dude able to roll up in your shop and you get so geeked out, excited about getting ready to expose him to some stuff? Like Riri had to basically have a cosign from your mama to be like, it was okay to do this. Why this guy just comes in and now it's like, oh yeah, I'm about to show you, I'm about to put you on game. I'm about to expose my magical ability to you, not knowing really anything about you. You're just some random dude who just walked in. And she's like, oh yeah, look what I can do. Turned the little
Because
dummy
that's part of
nerd.
Parker's charm. Like he charmed people. He just be peer pressuring people
But he
into
wasn't
doing
even
stuff
like
they wouldn't have never ordinarily have done. Like he just got little swag like that. That's just like
nah, he don't got
Oh
that much
immediately
man,
swag.
want to trust
she
him.
was
He don't
she
got
was
that
way
much
too
swag.
ready. She was way too ready to help somebody with some
Ready.
magic.
Yeah, she was too ready, and I think that is going to be to her detriment because it's almost exactly like what happened with Joe. Like she's just so eager to showcase her ability, and she's not doing the things that she's supposed to do responsibly. You would think that what she just went through with Riri would have showed her she needs to have a little bit more discretion and be a little bit more responsible. And she just immediately was like, "Oh yeah, let me show you how I can turn these gummies into some nerds." Boom, bam, got it.
About to be the top flight sorceress of Chicago over there. She want everybody to know her name in this. Like, I gotta let
Yeah,
people know I can do a little something, something in this shop. So you need something, you come to me. I got you. And then Parker is just like, hell yeah, I can just about to use the hell out of her. Charles, where do you think that this encounter is going to lead us?
Um, I mean, I didn't think about the Wong aspect, but my first thought was this is gonna lead towards introducing Brother Voodoo because he's kind of connected to Zelma somewhat in the comics. And we've already like Brother Voodoo has been hinted at in Marvel since the first Doctor Strange because his brother was the guardian of the New York thing. And uh, what's the guy named Caecilius? His name, the bad guy.
Yeah, I
He
know who you're talking
killed
about.
him. Yeah, he killed
Mhm.
him basically. The black guy, the big black bald dude. He killed him. That was Brother Voodoo's brother, supposedly. I mean, it is in the comics, but they didn't explicitly say that in the movies. So he's been hinted at in the MCU already. So I kind of think because everybody's black or Hispanic, I guess all black everything, that instead of Wong, we're gonna get a Brother Voodoo introduction. And I'm kind of hoping that happens again, just to be antagonistic because people just hate all this blackness like it doesn't exist in the comics. It been there for decades. So yeah, I'm hoping she leads him to Brother Voodoo, who would be much more equipped to figure out that this dude Parker is a problem because Velma is definitely a little too naive to be wielding that much power.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'll be interesting to see where this leads us, and I hope that this is not the last time we see any of these characters, like Moon Knight, that we just I guess ain't never gonna see again. Apparently, it's a whole other conversation. But
Man, I totally
I hope
forgot
that
Moon
they don't
Knight.
just that they don't just leave us hanging with these two because I'm bonded with Parker. Okay, I want to see the good in him. It probably ain't there, but I'm gonna try to see the good. I'm at this point.
No,
I'm like
no,
Zelma. I think there's some. I
I
think we
don't.
could be.
I don't ever remember the hood being any type of good ever in the comics at all. Like he's
Probably.
been like a neutral force before, but he's never been good.
It's probably not. I'm hoping for him. It's got to be a little bit something in there. But y'all, thank y'all for joining us for the wrap up of Ironheart, which they gave us all of 2 weeks. But I'm glad this project has been sitting on the shelf for what they said, like since they started this after Wakanda Forever, and so this project has been sitting on the shelf for a few years, and they finally did it. And now I see why, because people acted a straight up fool with this series. But if you watch it, this is a good series. It's a solid series. The special effects in this was good. I love the casting in this and the acting and the story. And she can fit right in with her as a standalone. And I would like to see Riri's I would like to see her story also wrapped up and carried out. And plus, I think she is going to be a part of the Avengers. And knowing that this happened will help us understand where her headspace is. Should we see her in Avengers? Should we see her again pop up in Wakanda? Because the Dora had needed to keep an eye on her. Okay, just like they was keeping an eye on Winter Soldier, somebody should have been still watching her to seeing what's up with her, because I wouldn't have just trusted her to go back and do what she was supposed to do. But thank y'all, and if you guys have not, make sure you hit like and subscribe on everyone's channel. Before we go, y'all tell everybody what y'all got going on the channel. See what is Superior going on over there.
Of course, we're going to be talking about Ironheart in about an hour, so I'll be back talking about this finale. Also, I'll be talking with my book club about The Mother of Black Hollywood, written by Jennifer Lewis. You may know her from Blackish. Very interesting actress. She has a biography.
Oh, I read that book.
Okay, baby. I have to hit you up. And also, next month, we're going to be talking about Eyes of Wakanda, the animated Wakanda show that's coming out on Disney Plus. So that's what's coming on my channel. See the Superior on all platforms.
Thank you. See, apparently my MacBook don't want me to slide nobody over. Quana, what's going on over there? Her Real Reviews. Quana be hitting them TikToks heavy these days.
I had to find something to do since I was out of state. Couldn't make all the content I needed. But once I come back home this week, coming up weekend, I will be talking about Washington Black. I've been reading that with my book club on Her Real Review Reads. We're preparing for the Hulu series that is coming out late July with Sterling K. Brown as one of the executive producers. And aside from that, I will be getting online and talking about The Bear, talking about Squid Game season 3. It's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. So definitely I have to defend Sid and Carmi. So I will be getting online and talking about why these people playing in my face like they don't understand why we shipped them. Because, listen, Claire ain't it.
Yes, I'm gonna have to hop in on that one, because the thoughts that I have about this last season of The Bear, all the thoughts that I have, I need to get those out of there.
I'll be hitting you
up. But thank y'all for joining us again. Make sure you like and subscribe on all channels. Right now on the channel, there's all of Godfather of Harlem, recaps, reviews, and interviews. Bring Her Back, 28 years later. We just did Squid Game season 4 on Sunday, so go and check that out. And we upcoming Fantastic Four, upcoming Superman, also doing recaps of Stranger Things to get prepared for the next season. And also, I think I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is also coming up on my list. That's coming up real soon. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.
Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear. No, I can't help but to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a beautiful wedding.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a shame. What a shame. A poor groom's bride.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, with the haven't you people ever heard of?
Thank you.
Closing a goddamn door.